Hey guys, I'm gonna be talking about my experience on depression, and you really need to have a reason on why you're depressed. Like, if you're depressed, go see a psychiatrist. There's nothing wrong. There's like nothing wrong with that. You just need someone to talk to, someone to be there for you, someone to understand how you feel. And yes, I have tried cutting myself, and one reason why I cut myself is because there's I cut myself to see if it hurts as much as what I'm feeling inside. And it's nothing compared to what I'm feeling because just thinking about my parents, my mom's never home. I carried this strong hatred for my stepdad. My three of my closest people just left me one by one. It started back when I was a baby. My mom wanted to get an abortion and just get rid of me, but she just thought, no, it's still alive. So she gave birth to me and she decided to give me up for abortion. I mean, adoption. But instead, she just put me beside a garbage can, and my grandma from my dad's side picked me up and just started to, like, take care of me. And I have no idea where my dad went, and I seriously really don't care. And my mom just never cared. I see my mom like once every month, not even like once every 2 months sometimes. And every time I see her, she would just not care about me. Like she'd just leave me at home and just hang out with her friends or go somewhere. And she would and I would get like abused when I was little. If I didn't do well or my report cards weren't good, they would just hit me. And they wouldn't just hit me with their hands. They would hit me with those feather dusters, and this is the feathery side, and at the back here is the hard side, and they would hit me with the hard side. Or if they didn't have that, they'd have spoons, metal spoons, belts, and it'd be really painful to feel. And especially by someone you care about, someone just you care about really, really much, just hitting you like that. Um, and my aunt passed away in grade 7, and I was just really sad because she was the only aunt I was really close to. And afterwards, my mom wanted me back. Um, so she started threatening my aunt and my grandma, saying that if they don't give me back to her, she's going to like call a lawyer and take me back. And because they didn't have a notice on saying they were my guardian or my parent, they had no right to keep me. So they gave me back to my mom, and my grandma went really sick that year in grade 7. And in grade 8, my no around the summer of grade 7, my grandma called me one night and said, "Oh, Vivian, can you come visit me tomorrow? I feel really sick and I feel like I can't hold on any longer." And I said, "Yeah, okay, let me ask my parents." So I went out and asked my stepdad. I'm like, "Daddy, can I go visit grandma tomorrow?" And because my grandma's not on my mom's side, she's on my real dad's side. My stepdad was like, "Oh, is she on the phone with you?" And I said, "Yeah." And he's like, "Give me the phone." So I gave him the phone, and he's like, "Don't you ever dare to call her again. She's not gonna visit you. Not now, not tomorrow, and not never. She's never gonna visit you. So stop calling and just give up." And then I got really mad. I was like, "Why did you say that?" And they took my phone. And they're like, "Go to your room." And then, so mad, I just went to my room. I started crying, and then I fell asleep. At 11:45, right on, my mom got a phone call, and my mom's like, and I woke up, and my mom was like, "Hello," and they talked for a few minutes, and my mom cut her off and said, "Oh, she passed away." And then my stepdad was like, "Who? That woman?" And she's like, "Yeah, her grandma." And my mom was like, "I'll go tell Vivian." And then I couldn't hold back my tears. I just started crying. And then, but I tried to keep quiet, and my stepdad was like, "No, don't tell her. Just let her be. Just tell her that her grandma went to another country to get treated for her illness. And then I thought, why would you do that? And he's just like, and he was like, oh, she doesn't need to know. It's not gonna bother her. It's just her grandma. She's too little to know about anything. And my mom was like, okay. And then I waited for a few days, and my mom didn't tell me anything. So I went up to my mom and be like, where's grandma? And she's like, oh, she moved to another country. I'm like, stop lying to me. Tell me, what is she? I know she's dead. Why didn't she tell me? And she's like, oh, it's because you're too small to understand anything. And I felt really hurt. And then I just didn't want to talk to anyone. And that's when I started developing a strong hatred for my stepdad. And I got really mad at my mom, and I didn't talk to her for a month, a whole month. And afterwards, in grade 8, my aunt, she went back to the States, and my other aunt passed away from kidney cancer. And it's just really unfair how they all left me one by one. And that aunt, she never contacted me. And when the first time she contacted me, she just told me that she I should just leave my mom and go to the States with her. And I didn't know what to do. Even though my mom was the one who left me beside a garbage can and didn't want me, she was still my mom, and I just couldn't leave her here. And I didn't know what to do. I was confused. And in grade 8, I got into high school, and I decided to talk to everyone. But there's still some people that didn't like me. I always thought it was my fault. And it's never your fault, alright? Like, you're no different from anyone else. Just because you're depressed doesn't mean, like, you're crazy or you're wrong. Um, and in grade 10 of the summer, I transferred schools to a new school. And from this school, I didn't want to talk to anyone else. I felt isolated. I felt like I didn't belong with anyone. I didn't want to talk to anyone. But I met a friend, and she was always there for me, and she still is. And it was I started ditching classes. I didn't feel like going to school. I felt exhausted, and that's when I found out I was depressed. And the counselor from my school counselor, he introduced me to a psychiatrist, and I started talking to the psychiatrist. And before the psychiatrist, I would just cut myself to feel that, because when I cut myself, the pain was nothing compared to what I was feeling inside. It was just really painful, and I had to keep everything inside my heart. I couldn't tell anyone because I couldn't trust anyone. And it's because I trusted so many people. There were rumors going around the school at my old school. And when I moved to this new school, I figured that I could trust these my friends. And I told my friends, and they understood. They're like, "Oh, it's all right. You're it's not your fault." And my mom felt really ashamed that I had this thing called depression, and she didn't want to tell anyone. She's like, "Oh, why do you have depression? Oh, you're so embarrassing." Like, it's not my fault. I didn't want to have depression, alright? Like, I just felt terrible. And I started cutting myself, but then after talking to a psychiatrist, someone I could talk to, my friends were there for me. Even though my parents didn't care about me, I still had friends that cared about me. And you're never alone, alright? Like, you don't need to cut yourself. You shouldn't be harming yourself because of someone. You should feel good about yourself. Like, you should feel happy. You shouldn't be hurting yourself, because no one deserves to be harmed in such way. And I stopped cutting myself because I felt so much better to have friends and a psychiatrist I could talk to. And if you ever need help, just tell your school counselor, tell your doctor, try to find a psychiatrist. There's nothing to be ashamed of. You're not wrong. And you just need someone to talk to, and you need to pour out your feelings. And if you keep everything inside of you, it's just gonna lead you to the next step, which is suicidal. And I had thoughts about that, but after when I had someone to talk to, I felt so much better. My grades went up, my mood always went up, my mom started to care about me more. My friends were always there for me. My hatred started slowly going away, but I still can't forgive him for what he did, and I don't think I have the confidence to forgive him, but I can try to be nicer. And you're not wrong. You don't need to be ashamed of. Like, there's nothing wrong with you, alright? And if you ever need someone to talk to, you always have your friends, school counselor, adults. Your parents aren't the only adults in the world. And if you ever need someone to talk to, just inbox me. I'm always here for you. And really, there's just nothing wrong about being depressed, alright? A lot of teens are depressed, and you don't have to be ashamed of it. You don't need to listen about what others say about you. You just need to give yourself a bit of confidence and just say, I'm tough. I can get through this. There's nothing wrong with me. Um, I can get through this. I'm tough. I can do this. So, yeah, I hope this helped. Thanks. Bye.